Another one bites the dust. Hey, everybody. So, thank you again for checking in. I thought we should talk a little bit about meat. You know, it's a big part of our lives, and I was doing some drinking thinking, and I thought I'd just share a few of my thoughts. You know, we all love meat. We all love meat. Steak, chicken, pork, lamb, and really it's only been the last few decades that meat is affordable to all of us. It used to be really just a product of the wealthy, so almost a special occasion. I mean, today you can go get a hamburger for just a couple of dollars. It wasn't that long ago, you know, that wasn't possible. And the crazy part is, meat is really almost, it's basically the most inefficient way to feed feed humans on a global scale. I mean, we love meat, and really what we love the most is kind of destroying, you know, spaceship Earth. On this planet presently, we keep about 1 billion pigs and sheep. We keep 23 billion chickens, 1.5 billion cattle. Now that's a lot of mouths to feed when you think about it. Essentially, we've turned our planet into sort of this giant feeding ground. 83% of our farmland, 83% of our farmland, so the crop that we grow is actually used for livestock. That's 26% of Earth's land area. 26% of the land that's just amazing. Those are amazing numbers. 27% of the global fresh water we use for plants to feed animals and water for those animals. For those 23 billion chickens, those 1.5 billion cows and billion pigs and sheep, they all need food and water. 27% of the fresh water on this planet goes to our livestock and the food we use for that livestock. So really, meat production is kind of this giant black hole for the resources we have on this planet. And most of that food that we feed those animals is just to keep them alive long enough to slaughter them. 2 pounds of steak. So just to get 2 pounds of steak cost us 55 pounds of grain, 3,000 gallons of fresh water. And that 2 pound steak is only 18% of our daily calorie requirement. We could actually feed an additional 3.5 billion people if we just ate what we grow to feed to these animals. And here's the next sort of kick in the pants that no one likes to talk about, but it's real. 15% of our greenhouse gases are created by the meat producers. That's more than the ships, planes, cars, and trucks combined yearly. Food producers, or meat producers specifically. More than the ships, planes, trains, and automobiles combined. So, interestingly, globally, we kill 200 million animals every day for food. 200 million. That's about 74 billion animals every year. So that means every 1.5 years, we kill more animals than there have been humans that have existed in our 200,000 year period of the history of humanity, if we will. Every 1.5 years, we kill more animals than there have been humans on our entire existence since we started calling ourselves humans. Now, where do all these animals come from? As we know, no one likes to talk about. I mean, factory farms, right? And they're engineered to be as efficient as possible. And for all the animal rights activists, obviously there's no quality of life for these animals at these factory farms. Pigs live in basically windowless sheds, so they never really see daylight. And the sows just basically have babies nonstop, which are taken away until it's time to turn that mama pig into bacon. And then those babies get fed and grow and so on and so forth. Dairy cows is kind of the same thing. They're bred continually so to ensure that we have milk for milk and cheese. And those calves are taken away immediately and are fed and grow to repeat the process. Now, cows used for beef, as you guys know, they're kept in confined pens, very, very close together, which is interesting because we have to give them antibiotics because they tend to get sick because they're so close together, and helps get them to grow faster. 80% of all the antibiotic medicine made in this country, 80% is used for cows. 80%. Now, chickens get the worst deal of all, and as many of you know, I stopped eating beef or pork a few years ago, and I'm not dogmatic about it, but I just tried to cut it out. And I eat a lot of chickens, and when I look this stuff up, I may have to give up chickens because they really get the short end of the deal. Obviously, getting back to that 23 billion chickens, they're kept in such vast numbers and so close together. However they socialize, that's prevented. And when they're so close together, they tend to attack each other. So what these farmers do is they cut their beaks off and claws so they don't kill each other. While they're fed feed to grow and then be slaughtered and turned into chicken fingers, I guess. But I didn't know this. But male chickens, when the baby chickens are born, males are considered worthless because they don't lay eggs, and apparently we don't use them for meat. So most of them are immediately gassed and shredded. Over 100 million chickens are killed this way every year. Male chickens they just gas them and shred them, turn them into nothing. Now, everybody's going to say, well, there's organic farms and organic meat, and really it's not a whole lot better because I think the rules of the laws for like chickens say that I think it's 6 chickens can be kept in a 10 square foot area, which isn't terribly large, but it's better than being, I suppose, in a factory farm. But the bigger problem is those organic farms require way more natural resources than those conventional methods I was just talking about. So that kind of is a catch-22 on some level. The chicken gets a little bit better life before I snap its neck and eat it, but I'm going to burn more resources that are destroying the very planet that we're living on. Now, make no mistake, everybody loves meat. Meat makes us happy. We love barbecues, we love parties. Hamburger is good. Chicken fingers are some of the best. Chicken wings. Everybody loves meat. Bacon is good. Sausage is good. I don't think that eating meat makes you bad, and I don't think that not eating meat makes you good. I think it's very, very complicated, but I think it's important that we're aware of sort of those numbers, which is why I'm having this talk. How do we deal with this on some real level if it concerns you at all? Well, opt out. You don't have to eat meat every day. Maybe a couple days a week, have a salad. Wouldn't hurt your waistline anyway. And if you absolutely have to eat meat, the reality is chicken and pig use less of our resources, even though they're probably treated more cruelly. The other thing, if you're gonna have a steak, eat it. Did you know that every American throws a pound of meat away per day? We order more, our eyes are bigger than our stomachs. That's just a complete waste on a whole nother level. But I think the biggest takeaway would be to make meat special again, like all those decades before when it was reserved for the rich, or it was a very rare. We've all watched the Christmas Carol. They get the goose on Christmas Day. It sounds to me like the rest of the time they're eating gruel or something else horrible. We should try to make it a special event and not consume it every day. Anyway, I don't know. I was reading something and it got my interest, so I thought I'd do this quick video on thinking about how much meat that we consume and the natural resources that we have to use to feed those animals, to feed us, and try to figure out a better way of doing it. Because ultimately, the goal is just to get the protein and the nutrients that we need to sustain ourselves. And there's got to be a better way than just eating steak, chicken, lamb, pork, etc. Obviously, eating what do they call it? Impossible and Beyond Beef is one step, although those are have got lots of chemicals in them and lots of salt. It may not be the best solution, but might be a step in the right direction. And I know science is trying to genetically engineer meat, but there's lots of ways to get your protein and iron other than eating meat every single day. So as 2022 approaches, I think everybody should try to eat a little less meat and be a little bit more conscious about how much resource it takes to feed those animals. Can you believe those figures on the land mass? 83% of our farmland, is that what I said? Is used just to feed animals. That's crazy to me. Anyway, in this world, when you could be anything you want, you be kind, you be humble, you be forgiving, and you be melting snow. Hey, you know what? A lot of, you might just drink more. You drink more, you eat a little less. It's probably not the healthiest for your liver or kidneys, but, you might save a cow or a pig. Anyway, have a great day.